Hello?
Morning, you know what time it is. It is coffee time. How's everyone doing today? Uh, been a soggy morning so far since last night, and my dog Renally is like, "Get me out of here." We're supposed to dry up maybe about an hour or so or two. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing great today. On this, like I said, soggy Thursday morning. I don't know how's it going on your side of the woods out there, but anyway, gonna get this going. Today's topic is we've talked about it before, but it's you never get enough of it, especially us authors. Trying to get our work out there once it's completed, and that's marketing. Title today is called "This Little Author Went to Market." That's never fun. That is never fun. That's the work that we authors really don't want to deal with. We'd rather have somebody else do it, but someone's got to do it. Anyway, I have an interesting quote here by Jay Bear, and it says, "If your stories are all about your products and services, that's not storytelling. It's a brochure. Give yourself permission to make the story bigger." But I guess, to do that, to make the story bigger, you gotta market it, right? You gotta promote it. You gotta do what you gotta do to make it bigger, I guess, so people can understand what's going on out there. But anyway, let's see if we can get our guests in there. We got Dale Phillips out there. See if we can get him in here.
Hello, can you hear me?
We did. I can hear you. Can you hear me clearly?
Perfectly.
Nice, nice, nice. I had the music out there, but I don't know if it was heard or anything because I was having some issues on my side.
Cannot hear the music.
Yep, yep, that's an issue. Maybe we'll hear it once the show ends. But anyway, I can hear you clearly right now, so that's a good thing. We got Lorraine Carey out there. Lorraine, you there?
I'm here, Michael. Hello, Michael. Hello, Dale.
Hello?
How's it going?
It's going too fast.
Raining on your neck of the woods? Is it raining?
What's that?
Is it raining over there where you're at?
Yo, I only wish. I only wish. No, we're still in a level 5 drought alert.
Oh wow, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
We were there, but or we were getting there, but it's been this rain's definitely helped. It definitely
No,
helped.
send it over here. Send it over here.
Oh, I see some sun. I see some sun. I see some sun. Anyway, so what you think about that quote right there from Jay Bayer? What do you think about that?
Which book was that?
It's a quote, and it says, "For you, if your stories are all about your products and services, that's not storytelling. It's a brochure. Give yourself permission to make the story bigger."
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
What's
he's absolutely right. That is when you tell about your product, you're promoting. Marketing is finding your ideal reader and giving them enough information that says this is something you want because I know enough about you to be able to sell you this because I know it's a thing you want and will pay money for. That's a big difference between marketing and promotion.
what say you, Lala?
I agree with that. Like I said, somebody wants. I mean, when you write, you have to know your product. I mean, even if we're writing fiction, we're writing a product. We're writing a story. We have to know our information. But like I said, if it's just a narrative on what you're selling, blah 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 blah, and it doesn't have a helpful component to anybody, I don't think it's worth much.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Got a little article here by Jeff Goins, and it says writing is a noble pursuit. It's about touching pen to paper or fingers to keyboard and creating words where just a moment before there had been nothing. Writers take ephemeral ideas and turn them into organized starts that can move people to think, feel, and act. Writing is, in fact, the closest that we humans can get to telepathy by the way of the writing word. We transport thought across time and space into the minds of our readers. But what about marketing in contrast, right? It's not quite so noble, right? Is it? So what do we have to do as authors to get that across? What say y'all guys?
Well, I tell people in the classes and workshops I give that we're like magicians. We're like Doctor Who. Like you said, we move through space and time. We might be communicating with somebody not even born yet. This is the coolest thing about what we do, about people in other lands and other places and times. We are creating something that might last for a very long time, hopefully. And what we have to do is make that matter to their lives at that time and place and situation. This takes a very special skill set, and not everybody can do that, but that's something we strive for because we live in a world of infinite free entertainment. Why should anybody pay money for something that you created out of your head and put down in some format? We have to make it mean and matter to them.
Yep. What say you, Lala?
You know, Dale's right. You know, we live in a society now with high tech. Everybody wants things instantaneously. You know, the attention spans are short. We have to sell something. We have to know who our audience is. We have to know how to deliver it at the perfect time and place. And you know, marketing has always been the bane of for me. It's just one of those things that. You know, I just can't wrap my head around it. It's very difficult. And if you don't know the science behind it, and if you're not into, you know, search engine optimization, all that, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
you're
because
right.
we're creators. We're not marketing people. Marketing is
Exactly.
a completely different
Exactly.
skill set.
Mhm.
And yes, we'd all love someone to come in and do it. The thing is, I think we need to focus less on marketing and more on creating art that's so good and so meaningful to people that that sells itself. I know it doesn't, but that's what we should strive for because marketing in this day and age is an incredibly difficult skill to rise above the noise. But do realize that most books don't sell more than a couple dozen or a couple hundred copies. That's the sad fact of it. And that's well over 90% of all books, no matter how they're produced, how they're packaged. The ones that win are the ones we see because they have a big money machine behind them, or they got extraordinarily lucky in the lottery and just hit the zeitgeist at the perfect time.
There
Yeah,
you
you're
go.
right, Dale. And you know, especially, you know, talking about, you know, what certain platforms are more effective than others, and with all these YouTubers, you know, getting views. And you know, I saw the other day that, and it was on our local news, and that it was a YouTuber, and he would chase his wife around the house with like a lizard, or what was it the other day? Was it a little alligator or something? And she screams. He was like over like it's like 2 million views, and he's like, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to chase my husband around with my book. I mean,
I'd give that a try.
there you go. But it's like something crazy gets people's attention, you know?
Now,
Yeah.
honey, you're not going to like this, but
I'm going to chase you with my book.
But you think readers will take us serious if we start doing things like promoting things like that?
I doubt it. I mean, I joke about it, but I wouldn't do anything like that.
it
Yeah.
kind of depends on who you are and how you do it. John Scalzi does a lot of real fun, weird, funky stuff, but because he's already popular and people like him for his quirkiness, they will accept
Mm.
that and they will look at the things. He like posts pictures of the burrito he's having for lunch. And he gets away with it, and that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one time he taped a picture of a piece of bacon to his cat, and he
Oh,
said that got more views than any book promotion I've ever done
do
in
you
my
see what
life.
I mean? Yeah,
So is it
it
all
did
about
get.
reputation? So that's
It's
just
about
rep.
it's about catching the attention.
The attention.
And some people want to be outrageous to catch attention. You know, the guy
they
chasing his
do.
wife around. Oh, somebody will get a chuckle out of that. So
Yeah,
you look
really.
at that. Whether that translates to selling, probably not, because yes, we're creators and doing something differently. But if you connect with your audience, that's a different. And you connect them and you bring them in. If you're just doing it and they get that, you're just putting on a show, they're probably not going to buy the book.
Yeah.
You know, I agree, and I think, you know, depending on the genre, we like. I write paranormal and supernatural, really spooky things, you know, and I think I need to start posting spooky things. I mean, I've done a few paranormal investigations. I probably need to do more and post things like that, because that is where my those are my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right about that. And you mentioned that I like doing promoting my stuff, videos. I'm trying to getting a little better on it, and since my genre is on sort of that spooky stuff, I try to make
Right,
videos
right.
on focus on that, and I think it's getting attention. I don't know, we'll see, but
I know it is because I see it out there.
yeah, yeah. Well, we know. Well, as you guys said that that's not our strong point, a marketing point. But there are four basic parts of marketing, which is product, price, place, and promotion. Which is our greatest strength for any writer? Which of those four?
Product.
Product, right away. Yeah, product. Product
Gotcha.
has to be quality.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you think all authors think that way, or they just write just to write,
Oh
what the
no,
hell?
oh no, they're all over the board, but most of them don't know what they're doing when it comes to marketing. And again, that's not something that we have the skill set for, and probably not something that we should focus on to the exclusion of making good work.
What they
I agree. You know, and now we have all these authors, well, if you can call them authors. I mean, they're writing whole stories with AI, and they're selling a multitude of books every month. So, I mean, is that really quality?
No,
I don't
Now
think
you
so.
you mentioned that does Amazon accept AI books? Is
They
that a
are, because these
I
they
people, yep, they
you're
are.
supposed to check a box that says whether it was created with that or
Yes,
not, and
correct.
that's supposed to make a difference. We don't
Yeah.
know if it does.
People
interesting?
don't care. So, well, I'm going to say people don't care. Some people don't care if they're just interested in the content, but you know, for people that do care and want organic writing and they want to see the true talent from a human, I think it does care. It matters.
I've seen a lot of very popular crap that could have been written by AI, but it's just something that they've got a formula and they just keep reproducing the same thing over and over by
Right.
themselves, and it sells. And yes, there might be a market for that, but probably not for very long, and it will probably have an end date. This happened to a lot of authors, and then they're like, "Oh, now what do I do?" I mean, there was Bigfoot porn. There was a woman making
Bigfoot
$30,000 a
porn.
Oh
month
my
selling
God.
that
Oh,
online. I mean, I'm sure that's probably not selling as much
oh
now,
Lord.
but they have their waves.
Yeah,
Yes, they
yeah,
do.
that's wild. Well, the author of this article, he says you won't make money without marketing, and he hit on several points. One is without marketing, you can't grow an audience and you can't build a brand. What say you guys?
True. I mean, like I said, it's like if you have an orchard with really good apples, but if nobody knows about it, how are they going to come to you to buy the apples and all the products that you make from the apples? You've got to get the word out. But again, if you're spending all your time doing that and your apples, grow less in quality, is that really worth it? What is your goal in writing? Is it to make money or is it to create good art?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, mine is to create good art. But like, you know, Dale said, you know, you have to get your name out there. Because I mean, if you just sit home and you write, you know, I'm going to write for, I do know someone that does that. She's a very close friend of mine. She writes for a hobby, but she says, "Oh, I just don't market. I order some books and I give books away to, you know, my friends and people at the church." I mean, so there's different ways. I guess it's what your goal is, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Second point here, it says Without marketing, you can't align your work with the needs of readers and buyers. What say you guys?
Certainly an element of that, but I think in the past, a lot of people were able to find their readers and buyers without marketing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
true.
that's something that we think we have to focus on. And I keep telling authors, no, you don't have to. It's too much time. I've seen people still flogging the same book after 5 years, the
Yeah,
same thing when they should have been producing more books and better
that's
books.
true. Very true, Dale. Yeah, they're spending so much time on marketing that they're not doing the creative aspect.
Right.
Very interesting. Another point here says, without marketing, you can't make sales, which is Dale hit on that. Without marketing, you can't make sales. Is that right? Do you really need marketing, like you said? Is it really necessary? Does again reputation? You don't need to go market. Just your reputation on your work. Is that all you need?
It all depends. I mean, there are some authors, I will just buy a book with their name on the cover just because I already know the brand. They don't have to market anything to me. I already know the brand. Um, yes, you will increase sales if you increase your marketing efforts and do it in a proper way and do enough of it and do it continually. But that's the trouble. It is the Red Queen's race. You must run faster and faster and faster to stay in the same spot. And the minute you stop or step off the hamster wheel, the
Mhm.
sales drop and then you get depressed and go, oh, it was all for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, certain like with romance, like take Nora Roberts, if she's got a new book out. Oh, but well, I got to pick it up. I think if you build that reputation and you know, okay, so you just say, okay, I've got a new release out, and people, oh my gosh, this is my favorite author. You don't have to do that much marketing. They know you. They know your style.
It's interesting because I'm a big Stephen King fan. I like his work,
Hmm.
and I never a lot of these books I never hear anything about them until you walking of the WalMarts and whatever, and there you see a new
Right.
book. And I, wow, I've never heard of this book. It doesn't.
Right.
So again, like you said, I guess it's a reputation. You know the quality of work, so he doesn't need the market, right?
I guess, well, like I said, if you're a big name, I think that really changes the game.
Yeah, yeah. That's unfair for us. You know that for those little guys. You know what I mean?
A friend of
It's
mine,
very hard.
yeah, a friend of mine that I
Mhm.
went to school with in my hometown walked into the Barnes and Nobles just the other day, and she said, "Do you have Lorraine Carey's the romance book out?" And they go, "No." They go, "But we have heard of her. We've heard about her new book, and we'd like to get her for a signing." I'm like, "Well, how in the heck did they hear about me?"
Ah,
So that was interesting.
that is interesting.
Yeah, well, Mike, the thing is, it's the same in all creative fields. There are hundreds of good composers out there with a body of music over the last few centuries. Do you know what people play in concerts? About a dozen. About a dozen composers are the main ones that get produced and played in different things. Can you imagine all these other composers going, man, I should have marketed more?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. It says writing depends on truly understanding your audience. So does marketing. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. And like whatever platform we're on, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or LinkedIn, I think we need to figure out, okay, what works for us? Where are our readers? Where do we go? Which platform do they go to? That's what we need to figure out.
Yeah, I'm telling people don't try to do too much because you're spreading yourself too thin on these platforms you don't really understand, you don't really like, and you're wasting a lot of time.
Oh, I know I am.
Yeah. And I'm like, eh. Again, I'm like, I don't write for a particular audience because I write in so many different genres. I write for myself to please me. because
cool.
I read a lot and I read quality books, and I say, if I'm happy with this, I'm putting out to the world, and whatever they do with it, that's fine by me. I'm going on to the next thing. And yes, I would sell a lot more books if I marketed, but that's not what I enjoy doing.
There you go. All right, it says here, if you think you're a fantastic writer, but you just don't get marketing, then one way or another, you're kidding yourself. Either you get marketing better than you think, or you aren't really the writer that you think you are. What do you think about that?
That's a
Well,
trick question, Michael.
find people of quality whose writing you admire and get their opinion on your work. If
Right.
you've got people willing, professionals willing to put their name on your work, saying, "Wow, I really like this," that's what you need. And it's not really marketing; it's promotion. But so what? Because you've achieved your goal of getting something good out to the world and getting somebody notice it that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Dale was right, especially if you get someone that, knows what they're doing and they read your writing and they say, oh, yeah, this is good. Also, it's like endorsements work as well. If you get someone well known or, someone in your field that writes the same genre and they endorse your book and they're a well known writer, that's a big bonus for you. That's a win.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It says here, because while so much of writing is artistic, for example, voice, style, and tone, and so much is in function of creativity and inspiration, what sets the best writers apart from the rest of the writers is their ability to get into the heads of the reader and create something that will truly resonate. That's a big part of marketing. You say, yes?
Well, that's the big secret, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we all want to discover. How do I get into a reader's head to get them to part with their hard-earned dollars to buy this story?
Yeah. But yet they'll go to Starbucks and spend $9 on a latte.
Right. Or
Right?
$5 for a gallon of gas.
There you go. Oh,
But see, that's the thing. We authors, we don't have that skill. At least not all of us. Let's see. Let's see what Fax had to say from Fax Porcupine Podcast. Hello, Fax. You there?
Hey, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey, what say you about the topic today?
Well, I was vaguely listening because I was going back and forth. I heard something about try to hire an expert and don't try to do it yourself when you're not really capable, when you got resources like you guys there. Um, I won't lie to you. I was in and out. And you guys are authors, and I guess, and I've been finding great thing. I met a book historian. So I had books in the house and I was going to either throw them out. A lot of people in my neighborhood, they put them outside, even it rains with all that. Well, he came and I told him he can have whatever books he has, as long as, the one. So one of my books are very valuable, he claims. So I held on to that. But other than that, I'm going to be made. I plan on putting all my, I'm actually going to do a podcast book. You know what I mean? I know AI is around. So I'm going to play around with a couple of one of my I picked out a bunch of episodes that was really, high in the participation and listening. And I wanted to just try to create books on my journey on this app and then everything else I'm doing. So yeah. So I can't really say much on what y'all was speaking about because I was going in and out, but I did hear some.
Gotcha. Well, the topic is marketing. And that's
Okay,
that's
yes.
our strong point. Yeah, marketing.
All
Marketing
right.
our books
I
out there.
heard that part. Now,
Yeah.
listen, I'm getting ready to do, unless somebody want to help, I own a construction company and I made history. But then I signed one document and it cost me $2 million.
oh my.
Oh,
I gave somebody a $10,000 surety bond. I forgot about it. I went to go get it and they claim they don't have it. Like I own a painting company. The only reason why I'm a podcaster is because I was tired I did all the marketing. We're in the Port Authority of New York. You know how they come up with a book and they put all the vendors in and all of that. And it was their 100-year anniversary. So I figured, let me take a small little ad, things like that. Cleaning up the office, did a lot of women, not, I'm only kidding, did a lot of cleaning and looking. The business is, I have a front room where the business and everything. So I was looking, social media is the new marketing tool. So if you're over 55 and you want to revive yourself, we got to you got to get with it, so that's where I'm at with marketing. But yeah, and I think you
Gotcha.
guys mentioned getting a good professional, but I'm going to be straight with you since you want to ask the question. I've dealt with a lot of people already, and I would, maybe you can help me or whatever. Um, with the Port Authority, that book, they try the ads, you got to be careful with what you're purchasing because they were on the impression that I was going to keep it for the next 5 years, and that wasn't it. I was already telling them I'm a small business. So, what is the safeguards and how do we pick a good person that knows? But at the same time, social media is the thing and people using AI. So, what would you suggest? Because I got LinkedIn, I got everything. We need to read, update it, bring it to that get it where it can a lot of podcasters are going on to all these other platforms and and things like that. I want to be conservative, but I want to be like, I run American brand. I don't know if that what that means with respect to how we operate the business. I'm born and raised in the United States, and I'm all about fair ethical things. So our pitch now with the climate, and I'm a black man, it's hard to hire us. I actually got an invite to go to a golf outing. I'm going to be around a bunch of rich guys on Monday.
There you go.
And, and then I don't have the business cards. I was businessly burnt the hell out. I ran every month. I needed 40,000, and women don't date construction contractors. We don't get paid all the time. I wouldn't advise it, ladies. So my marketing thing is what if somebody is just getting. I have everything. We were wrote up in state papers, and how I want to try to tie in my legacy that would bring us validity to can they do the work? And we know we got to play with labor this time. So I'll be a better businessman this time around. Podcast was an outlet to run because I can control it. I can own it. I don't have to deal with the corruption and the bullshit. Excuse my language. And so that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, sorry.
What say you, Dale, about the facts situation there?
Well, facts that this is. I don't think we're going to be of much help in this because you run a particular service
Yes, sir.
and people need the service and that's what they pay for. Nobody has to pay for what we produce, not a single person. And to get them to do so is a very different thing from what you're offering them because they'll have something concrete, pardon the pun, when they have paid for it. And when they get ours, it's just another story out of the millions and millions and millions of stories. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be of much aid to you in this.
I didn't get well. Actually, what in a roundabout way? What did you make it easy for me to understand? So you guys help people. I don't know. I just came in. That's why I said I can't really talk more. But I'm actually when you mentioned marketing, I'm actually playing around right now on the computer. I'm getting ready to start my show anyway, and I didn't know. We have the websites. We got a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I get you. Is it because we've already been there and done that, or how does that work? I don't know.
No, it's because nobody has to pay for what we've got. You are offering a very particular service to a very particular clientele who need your services and are willing to pay for it. So you just need to get the word out that you have this available, like you say, with ads and things. For us, an ad doesn't work if you're not even known. James Patterson uses them, and he was successful at it because he was a professional marketer. But the fact is that for most of us, we could do all the marketing in the world and it might not even move the sales needle. If you do a particular set of marketing, it might be effective for you. We're just in a completely different skill set. That's
Can
all.
you just help me with what you guys actually do? Because I probably missed the
We write books.
you
We
do
write
what?
books. Yeah, we write books. Yeah.
Oh, you write books? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, no problem. Well, yeah, great. That's you write books. Good job. So okay, so that's cool, but at the same time, we're all trying to make money, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Right.
It's all about making money, selling the books. Yes. Yes. What say you, Lorraine?
Well, I'm going to go back to my husband. When we lived in Arizona, we owned our own air conditioning heating business,
okay.
kind of like I like a construction business, like you're talking about, facts. And I remember my husband ran almost a full page ad in when people used to use phone books, if you remember those back in those days.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it blew up. I mean, he was getting contracts for malls, and I can tell you, it was so much business we couldn't handle it. We ended up selling the business, but I think too, like you said, if you are offering something that somebody needs, boom, and you've got that out there, you've hit the jackpot.
Yeah, well, we ready to revamp. I don't, a lot of people speak about DEI, but we're minority vendors, and I bid on everything I got in my
Mhm.
life. I earned it. Like I would bid on the contracts, bid city,
Right.
state, federal. We went. Yeah, I did 3 maximum security prisons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Didn't really take care of myself financially. What I mean, I was making sure that, it's a struggle when you're trying to do it. Well, I appreciate it. Even though the platform is changing, but the only reason why I got a hold of you is because I follow you. You know what I mean? And
Appreciate it.
nevertheless, everyone stay well, and I appreciate the feedback on my thoughts.
Well, thanks,
Thank you, Pat.
Fats. We wish you well.
Thank you. See you again.
All right. So pretty much with facts, it's about hitting the target audience, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Where's
Yeah.
your audience? Where do they go? You know, where do they
Yeah.
hang out?
So it just sending that message across, the right message, how you communicate it is very important. But again, we all of it, we don't have all the authors don't have that type of skill. Yeah, we're writers, but do we have that skill to articulate, to send that message out to the target audience? Who do we send it to? You know what I mean?
Well,
That's
we don't. And that's the thing, Mike, is I've seen a lot of authors burn out. And the
Right.
creative process takes so much of your focus and bandwidth that is all consuming. And when you take a large portion of your life and you try to do something you think is important, but you don't really know much about it, and you get frustrated. There's a learning curve, and it is taking time away from your creative process and a lot of the energy and bandwidth, which can really sap your life force. And I've seen a lot of authors just get totally burned out, frustrated, full of anger and angst, and then just give up. And it's like, you know what? Don't do that. Adopt a Zen attitude. I'm going to create
Right.
good work. I'm going to put it out in the ways that I know how. And what happens, happens. And if I don't make $1 million, okay. Because most books don't sell very many anyway, no matter what you do to them. It's only the
Unless you're
lucky
somebody
ones that hit something.
famous. Right.
yeah, that's the thing, and that's I try to relate that to send that out to my listeners that please do not get into this thinking it's going to get a quick rich thing because that's not the way it works. You know what I
It
mean? You really
doesn't.
you got to love what you do. You got to love what you do. And if you have that skill set to do the marketing part, and good for you. But yeah, it's not for everyone. That's for sure. You don't want to burn out. Then that's the tough part because they want to sell, and make money. But that's not easy. That's definitely not easy. You know? So how much marketing do you do at all, Dale? You do any kind, or you have somebody else do it for you? What?
Well, the funny thing is, I do very little marketing. Now, I've written a book on marketing, 87 Ways to Sell More Books, because
Oh,
I've been in the field so long and I've absorbed the
mm,
information. And I do some of the techniques, but I don't do them all because I realize that the more you do and the more you do in conjunction, the better it is. However, that's not the thing that I started writing to do. I didn't get into this field to become a marketer, but I can tell people how they can do it, but I can also say it probably won't make you happy. no matter what sales you get, unless you're selling in the thousands, you're just not going to see much effect from the effort that you put into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the
What about
money that
you?
you the money that you invest, you
Or the
just
money you invest,
don't
right?
get it
Ads
back.
don't
You don't get
work
it back.
for the most part. Some people will give your mileage may vary, and they'll say, "Oh, I did a Facebook ad and I made X. I did an Amazon ad and I make X." And then there are other people who say this just flat out doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I tried Amazon ads as well, and they never worked for me.
Yeah, there you go. Again, do what makes you happy.
Got you. So how much do you put into marketing, Lorraine?
Well, I think I've told this on previous shows. When I wrote Mysteries of the Red Coyote in years ago, which was one of my I believe was one of my first books, I hired, my husband was excited for me and he goes, I'm going to get you a PR person. And she was $3,000. She's still
Woo!
around. And I think, I remember me telling this, it was young adult and it was urban fantasy, and it wasn't fantasy, it was urban legends. And it was a bestseller in its category for like 3 days on Amazon. But after that, and I spent all that money, boom, it did a landslide and it just went into hiding.
Jeez. For three
Yeah,
So
thousand
it's
dollars.
short
Yeah.
that's
lived.
what I
That was
said. Is
short
the
lived.
minute you step off, boom,
Yeah,
things drop, and then you get depressed and wonder what you
yeah,
did wrong.
true.
And you
Very
did
true.
nothing wrong. That's just the way it is.
Very true, Dale. But I was so disappointed. Like, oh my God, I spent $3,000 for 3 days.
Right.
$3,000. Yikes.
So was it worth it to be at the top for 3 days?
No, it was not.
Okay, see, this is proving the point right there.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I
It
wouldn't
says
do it
here,
again. I would not do it
I
again.
would do it. Yeah, $3,000. Yeah,
Well,
I can get a
but what
couple.
you did, Lala, is you paid for an education. You got
Correct.
feedback. It's not a failure. You got feedback. You
Correct.
tried something. It was a good effort. And you said, let's see if this works. And that technique didn't work. But now you know that, and you know not to waste any more
You won't
money
do
on
that
that.
again. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
You're right about that. You know how many steaks I could have gotten with that with
I know.
$3,000?
I know. I know.
Shit. $3,000.
You
Yeah.
could have gone to BoucherCon with that money and just had a bigger splash.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It says, finally says, it says, writing is a skill that seeps into every area of life, and so does marketing. You believe that?
No, some people never market. They just live quiet lives. They do their job and they don't try to be more than that. We are different because although many of us are introverts and will scribble in our own little attic, we yet want to be the voice that people pay attention to. So it's a very, dichotomous world that we live in.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, and I think too. We spend time. No, after we write, then we spend time making these promos, and I think that's another part of marketing. I've seen people like on X and Blue Sky, and they'll repost a promo and they'll say, "Oh, this is a great promo." Some promos create people more attention than others. So, like, do we need book trailers? What do we need these fancy promos? I mean, what sells? What works?
Yeah.
That's the big secret.
It is a secret.
What would our good friend Jeff Otis say if he was here? What would you think he would say?
Where is
He would probably say, "I don't know."
He'll probably have me wondering where's his heart's at. He'll probably be saying that. Where's my heart?
But again, there are many, many, many techniques. And the more you put them together in an actual campaign, you might move the needle, you might not, but your odds will increase. But I've seen campaigns that run over 200 different separate line items in a spreadsheet, starting with a year to 6 months before the book. And I'm like, if I did that, I would never take time to write anything else.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't either.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder
And I might
somebody
sell,
was
and I
talking
might
about.
sell a couple hundred copies more, but that wouldn't make me happy. The
Yeah.
creation of the work is what I'm in this for.
I agree.
Yeah. So, what are you doing, Dale? What you been up to the last several weeks?
I am hard
Anything
at work
coming up?
on a novel, which is a retelling of the Odyssey. It's a man comes home after 20 years in prison, and things have changed. And he's wondering if he can remain the same or what has to change in his life now that he's got freedom.
Ah,
That's interesting. That sounds very interesting.
it does. Yes. Interesting. What about you, Lorraine? What's going on? What's happening
Well,
with
we just
your book?
finished. I have a co-author. Becky Robbins and I wrote a middle grade book, Toads by Midnight, and then the sequel is done. So we're at the point now. I've contacted a publisher. It's a vanity publisher. We're going to publish that probably next week. So here we go. We're going to be thrust into that marketing realm, going crazy again.
Yeah.
Lala,
Yeah.
you don't need anybody else to publish your book. I can tell you that right now. You're going to be spending a lot more money on an education to find out that you could have done that yourself.
Yeah.
Becky and I, neither of us are technical people. And I struggle with the formatting and the uploading. It's terrible.
It's very simple. Use Word.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if you want, okay, send me your email address and I'll send you a copy of my How to Be a Successful Indie Writer, which walks you through the process of deciding, making the decisions on how to publish, and tells you how to do it for absolutely very little money,
Well,
if
I would
any.
love that, Dale. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, have Mike send you my address, and I'll send you a
Okay.
copy of that, because
I
you
appreciate
do
that,
not
Dale.
need anybody else. I talked to somebody at a mall signing, and he spent $7,000 to a company like
Oh.
that on something he could have done himself,
Oh,
and
Lord.
probably in a week's time he could have learned what he needed and done that for free.
Oh,
Wow.
And the
my.
poor guy, and it's a memoir that nobody's going to buy. He just
Oh,
got
what a shame.
taken, and I'm like, I didn't. I was very circumspect and diplomatic, and didn't say, "Oh my God, you got screwed."
Oh, that's a lot.
I don't
That's
like
why
to see
the
authors spending
publishers.
money. Remember, Lala, the money flows to the author, not from the author. And this is
Yeah.
something that you don't need them for. It is very simple process, and the technique is there in the book, and hopefully you won't have to spend that money and can do it and feel good about learning that yourself, because you're going to keep doing this, and you don't want to go to a service every time you need to do this,
See,
because that's going
that's what I've had to do
Yeah.
time after
Yeah.
to.
time.
Okay, great. Get my email, Mike. Send her my email,
I'll
please.
I'll
And
definitely
Thank
send you
you,
an email.
Dale.
I'll definitely do that. Wow. Wow, what a shame. Yeah. Well, as you know, my story's finally done, and it's still sitting there. But I'm taking my time. I'm not going to rush to send it out there.
is it a book or is it a story, Mike?
It's a book. It's a book. It's pretty cool. It's
Well, I will send you the same thing. I mean, come
yes,
on.
please. Yes, yes. I'm not looking for a publisher. I'm going to try to self-publish myself. I'm going to try to do it myself.
Independently publish. You
Yes.
are picking your team. You're picking your formatting. You're picking your cover design. You're picking your
Yep.
editor. You're picking perhaps your beta readers or your critique group. You're choosing the team that helps you get that book to market. You're
Yeah.
not being given a cover artist and a 25-year-old editor from a publishing house in Manhattan that has no
Right.
idea what they're doing.
Right.
You're right about that. Yes. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to try to have all
That's
control of that.
great.
Yep,
Yes.
everything's under your control. The pricing, the distribution, where you're going to market this thing, where you're going to give it away for free, how you're going to put it out, ebook formats, audio formats, print formats, exactly on what distribution and platforms. This is all under your control. And yes, folks, you can do this. You can learn this. You won't learn it all at once, but you can learn it in pieces, and you can learn enough to get it out as you're learning more all the time. This is the trouble with being an author. It's like the learning does not stop.
That's
Yeah.
true, Dale.
Wow. Yeah, he's right about that. So I can't wait to get that done. All right, I'm going to send his email to you right now. Hold on a
Thank you,
second.
Michael. Thank you, Dale.
You're welcome and good luck.
I'm going to need it. Thanks.
It's a
Now you
lot
said
easier than you think, believe it or not. It really is.
I am so non-techie. It's like I'm lucky if I can get the computer on, turn that
That's
button on.
that's the cool thing with the tools we have nowadays. You don't need to be. They've made it easy for you. I mean, if you can create and save a Word file, you're
Yes,
90% of the way there.
I can do that. Oh, I see the email. Thank you, Michael.
yeah. All right. All right. I'm going to send you my email, Dale.
Well, I have it.
Oh, you have? Yeah, send it to me then. Yeah, you do have it. Duh. Duh. Anyway, it's been a great show. Fortunately, we don't have Jeff Otis and Eva Bealby to come in today. I did send them some, to join us.
Oh, Jeff slept in today. He didn't have his coffee.
Aw,
Oh, there's Jeff. And Eva, hope she's feeling okay. I haven't heard from her. So hope she's
I
feeling
think she's busy right now.
fine. Gotcha. Well, you guys have been great, and I got the show next week, and it'll be pretty cool. And I'll send you out some invites, so if you can make it
Please
in, have a
do.
good
It's always a pleasure. The show is always entertaining. There's never a dull moment here.
time. All right, guys. Well, you guys have been great, and until next time.
Everybody have a good day. Bye, Dale.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Michael.
All
Bye,
right, have a good one.
listeners. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. Dale, how many cups today?
Just the one. I know. The trouble is, I'm drinking such good coffee. I'm so tempted to go back and have a second cup later in the day. It's so good and it makes me feel good. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to feel guilty about this because, wow.
Yeah, I've cut back a little bit. My wife's got me these little tiny packs of Bustelo Cafe that come really tiny, and I'm
Oh,
like,
like the
what?
Keurigs or something?
And I'm like, what is that going to do? That's not going to do
That's not going
anything.
to do nothing. No, no, you
Yeah,
need volume.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's not going to do anything.
Just
I
tell
had
her that. Just get this really expensive coffee, Michael. Really expensive coffee that's so good. One cup will satisfy you. Just sit back and go, that was like, having Chateaubriand right there. That was
What's it
just the
called?
finest cup of coffee. And
What's it
that will
called?
satisfy you.
What's it called?
Well, I use, there's Armeno coffee, and I use Kaha, Kaha
Oh,
coffee.
Kaha, like box. Yeah.
It's ground right here in the state, and they sell it. You can definitely go online and get it, and they always have sales, 15 to 20% off or better, and they have such a variety of things. I like the dark roast, but they have so many different coffees. It's unbelievable. It's a little pricier, but if you get over $50 worth, you get free shipping. So you just buy, a couple of 2-pound bags, and you're all set, and that'll get you through months and months, and you'll be sitting there in the morning with a big smile on your face.
All right then. Awesome. That's a nice. That tastes like. Sounds like good Colombian coffee.
Oh, it's just, oh, I love it. And my friend gets me Armeno, which is also good. And I dig into that, and I'm just like sitting there eager to start the day because I know I have that coffee that's going to get me through.
Nice. All right then. All right, Dale. Would you have a good one, and definitely, hopefully, we'll meet again next week.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Oh, wow. It's been a great show, and Dale P. Phillips and Lorraine Carey. I want to thank you guys for coming in. The Facts Porcupine podcast host came in as well. Glad to hear from him. It's been a great show. I've always enjoyed it. Anyway, you know what to say. Have a great day, and don't forget your coffee. Stay cool, folks, and see y'all next week.